All right, good morning. It is 6:50 and today I'm working from central Athens. So because I don't have any calls or anything that requires me to be near my camera today, I decided I'm going to go into Athens and work from a cafe, do some admin, do some programs, do a bit of content, just to break routine a little bit. I've worked a lot in this flat over the last 4 weeks and I need to get out a little bit more. So I'm going to go into Athens. Now, I have just entered a more rapid fat loss phase. So because of a few plans that I've got coming up across the next couple of months, I'll go to Lithuania, I've got my friends coming over for my birthday. There's a few things coming up where I'm probably going to need to go a little bit slower with the fat loss. And obviously because I'm doing a photo shoot, I have got a deadline. So me and my coach decided to go in for a 6-week sort of rapid fat loss phase. So I'm currently on 1,700 calories, which for me, with the amount that I move, the amount that I train, like muscle mass, that's quite aggressive. So I'm going to take you through a day of eating as well, in terms of like what I'm eating, how I'm structuring my meals, what time I'm eating, just to try and manage appetite as best that I can, manage my energy as best that I can, fuel myself for training, because I am training today, recover from training, that sort of thing. Because when I'm on 1,700 calories, because that is very low for me, I do need to be a little bit more strategic with what I eat and when I eat in order to not feel awful. So I'll take you through a day of eating, show you around Athens, and probably chat shit all day, let's be honest. I've never actually used the front camera for horizontal filming before, but I'm getting it right today. Where am I supposed to look? There. All right, just on the route to the metro, coffee in hand. For those of you that have followed me on Instagram for a little bit, you'll probably recognise this. Is that toothpaste or is that grey hair? I think that's grey hair. Bloody hell, it's prominent, that one. You might recognise this. That I bought this when I was in Nottingham, January 2024. To save me money on morning coffees, and it's still going. I don't always use it because coffee is so cheap here. Like, it makes you realise how much it's marked up in the UK and other places, because you can get really good coffee for like €1.70, like on the go here. A bit more expensive obviously if you sit somewhere nice, which I'm going to do today. Some of the coffees, like the Freddo espresso, it's like 2 shots of espresso shaken with ice, and it's just so nice. Literally some of the best coffee I've ever drank in Greece. So it's actually quite nice having a little bit of a commute into the city and working like a 9 to 5 day, which I do like to do on a Friday. Like during the week I do work quite late sometimes, just getting all the content done and obviously coaching clients, and it's busy at the minute. It is quite nice to just get out and get into the city and just break up my sort of surroundings a little bit. I find that I get creative, and it gives me better ideas with work sometimes as well, just being in a different place. So gonna have my coffee, get on the metro, head into central Athens. This is so weird filming in horizontal, I can't get over it. So that was actually really nice. I've not done that before. I've only ever been up that route of Athens in the evening or in the afternoon when it's super busy. So that was really nice doing it in the morning. As you've seen, beautiful city. One of my favourite things about Athens is it's kind of surrounded by mountains. So like everywhere you look, there's just mountains and blue sky. I love it. And I love the vintage Mediterranean vibes as well. I can definitely see myself retiring in a vintage Mediterranean apartment surrounded by whiskey, cigars and crisps. That's me. So just got to a cafe. I'm going to do a little bit of work now. I'm not going to eat until like 12, maybe even a bit later. So when I'm on a rapid fat loss diet, I like to have my food later in the day because I do get hungry later in the day, and I'm training about 4 o'clock. So I want to make sure that I've got carbohydrates around my training. This is the first time I've ever spoken to camera in public like this, by the way, so hopefully I don't seem too nervous. But it's just one of those things where it's just, once you've done it, you realise no one actually cares. And I think it's more common these days. I am going to have I've got a coffee and a kiwi. So everyone on Instagram thinks that I'm joking when I say eat these with the skin on. And I do have a piece of fruit normally at like 9, 10 o'clock after I've been for my walk, just to give me a little bit of something, just to tie me over until lunch. So I'm going to eat the kiwi with the skin on the camera so everyone can see that I am a weirdo. Honestly, it's actually nice. Like, you don't really feel the fur on the skin at all. It just gives it a little bit of crunch, a little bit of fibre. I think it's really nice, and it just saves so much faff. Like, I love kiwis, but I just never used to have them because of the whole cutting them up, going in there with a spoon. So I just started munching the whole thing. Everyone thinks I'm a freak, but I think it's great. Don't knock it until you've tried it. All right. That's definitely broke the ice for recording in public, eating a kiwi with the skin on, looking into a camera. But I'm going to have my coffee, crack on with some work. I've got a couple of new clients to set up. So, very grateful that I've had a few people join me this week for coaching. So I'm going to get them set up. And then when I go for lunch, like my first proper meal, I'll walk you through the calories, the protein, the carbs, all the stuff that you're probably most interested in from a rapid fat loss diet. And I'll catch you later. All right, lunch break. So it is literally 10 to 1. So I've delayed this quite long. I've been busy, had a couple of coffees. Caffeine's quite good for appetite suppressant. So when I am on low calories and I'm trying to push my food to later in the day, I do tend to have a little bit too much caffeine in the morning. But this is 150 grams of chicken, 200 grams of baby potatoes, and then a tomato, some lettuce and cucumber. So not the most exciting meals. It's got some sriracha and some salt and pepper on it to give it a little bit of flavour. But to be honest, this meal isn't really there for me to get loads of pleasure out of it. I do enjoy this, but it is literally to fill me up, hit my protein targets and start to put some carbs into the system before I train later today. When if you're going for I can't get my words out, you can tell it's Friday, you can tell I'm dieting. When you're going through an aggressive dieting phase, it's like, do you want to be hungry all the time? Do you want to feel really low on energy? Do you want to suck when you're training and going for walks and stuff? Or do you want to fuel yourself as well as you possibly can? And then factor in, a little bit of what you enjoy here and there. But largely, if you want to be successful with rapid fat loss, you are going to have to base a lot of your meals around foods that really fill you up. So lean protein with the chicken means that I can put more calories into my other foods. Potatoes are one of the most satiating carb sources, and then just loads of veg or salad or fruit to kind of bulk up the meal a little bit. That's how I tend to go. So the current setup does require me to be a little bit more restrictive with food choices, but I do have back-to-back on a Saturday and a Sunday. I do have like refeed days. I say refeed, they're 2,100 calories, so they're not exactly high, but on those days, I might have a bit of Halo Top ice cream, or I might go out for a coffee and have a croissant, something a little bit nicer just to break the week up a little bit. But at the end of the day, at the minute, I'm going for the goal quite hard, because I'm going to have fun in March. Like, I know March is going to be very flexible. Like, it's my birthday, I've got lots of socials, so March is going to be quite a slow month with the fat loss. So this month it's head down, get it done. And I don't mind like making some compromises and sacrifices and not getting that much pleasure out of my food for a bit, because I know it's not forever. And I also know that because I know it's not forever, and I also know the result at the end of it when I do the photo shoot and I'm in great shape and it's summer and then the flexibility comes back in, I know it'll be worth it. So I'm happy to make those compromises. And I think when you are going through rapid fat loss and you're eating like this, you've just got to remember, like, periodization is a real thing. So you can't do everything at once. You can't have all the food that you enjoy and get the six pack and do, you know, go and have loads of fun socially. You've got to be okay with the fact that something is going to have to give. And it doesn't mean you need to become a social recluse and eat like this all the time just to get in shape. Like, you can factor in some fun. But the way that I look at it is like, this is going to be a 3-month period where I am just prioritizing my goals a little bit more. Social life is going to go on the back burner a little bit, but the reward at the end of that will be then being able to put my diet down the priority list a little bit and have more fun socially. Have more fun socially at the weekend, whilst also being in great shape and feeling good. So it's not forever, and you have to keep telling yourself that. And remember that the reward down the line is going to be that you are in shape and you're then having more fun socially. So compromises, periodization, and that makes eating food like this a little bit more doable. And also, the tomatoes in Greece are genuinely enjoyable. Like, in comparison to UK supermarkets, the tomatoes out here are unbelievable. Like, if you've ever been to the Mediterranean and had a tomato, I'm sure you know what I mean. I don't even really normally like eating tomato in the UK like this, but here, can't get enough of it. So good. Alright, so I really failed on having the best coffee in Greece. I ended up in Starbucks. Alright, it's time to have my next meal, snack. This is a meal. So I'm going to be training in about an hour and a half. So I want this meal to be pretty easy to digest. So I don't want to be smashing loads of potatoes and salad right before I train. So that was, like I say, it was like 12:30, 1:45. Now it's 3:30 and I'm going to have 400 grams of Greek yogurt, 100 grams of blueberries, and a pack of these flavoured rice cakes, similar to Snacker Jacks. So protein, bit of fruit, and then carbs that are easy to digest. About 90 minutes before I train, and then I'll be going to train at about 5ish, getting an upper body session in, and then obviously I'll show you what I'm having for dinner. So the beauty of, like I say, starting to eat later in the day just means that now I'm able to have quite a lot of food in a fairly short space of time, which means I don't really go hungry for the rest of the day. Because I'm having high volume food, it keeps me quite full. Like, obviously I'm a little bit hungry, kind of like low level all the time, but I'm not having any like serious hunger pangs where all I can think about is a Domino's pizza, because I'm kind of getting the hardest part out of the way early in the day when I'm at my freshest, I've just slept, and my willpower is at its strongest. And now later in the day, especially on a Friday, where my willpower is probably at its lowest, I've got plenty of food kind of coming at me every few hours. So I just find it's a really easy way to stick to low calories. So I'm going to eat this, and then a bit more work, and then it's time to hit the gym. Home. There's nothing like hitting the sofa on a Friday. I'm smashed, to be fair. I've had a big week of dieting. That was a big training session. I only took one video, as you saw, but it was a big set. 45 kilo dumbbell press. Happy to be back at that strength level. I haven't been this strong since before Thailand. So I've not lifted 45 kilos on a chest press since October, and it's now the end of January. So it feels nice to be back there. And I do need to be careful, I guess, with like the intensity that I train at whilst also in a big deficit, just to make sure I'm recovering. But I felt strong today, so I went for it. But like, as you saw, like I had to kind of carefully time when I was going to eat my carbs to fuel me up for that sort of session. If I'd had all my carbs, or if I'd had my meal at 9 a.m. and then I had my snack with the yogurt and the rice cakes at midday, and then I went to train at 4, I wouldn't have been able to train that hard because I would have been hungry. Like, the carbs would have been in my system, sure, but training on an empty stomach is just not something I enjoy doing. So if I know I'm going to train pretty hard, I'll try and make sure I've got a decent amount of food in that sort of like 3 to 4 hour window before I train, which I did. So I just got back, and now I've got my dinner, which is a sorry state of affairs. It's literally exactly the same as what I had for my first meal. Potatoes, chicken, salad, and a bit of sriracha with salt and pepper. It's not fun. It's Friday night and that's my dinner. And it's, you know, this is the part of dieting, like this is the reality of it. I have got my digital detox weekend this weekend. So Saturday and Sunday, no phones. Like, I would vlog it, but the idea of a digital detox, is no phones, obviously. But I have got higher calories tomorrow and Sunday. So I'm going to go for coffee, have a croissant, read a book. Like, my food is going to be more enjoyable. So my next vlog is going to be next weekend, and I'm going to do it on a day where I eat a takeaway. I go for a coffee, I have a little bit of cake, and I'm going to show you how I factor that into the week so that you know that it's not just this. This is the weekday where I'm keeping my calories low and I'm just getting the job done. These are the days that will just strip the fat off. Like this week, I've had 1,700 calories every day. I've done 12k steps. I've trained 4 times. I've done 2,000 calories worth of cardio. Like, I've been active, and my physique has changed literally visually Monday to Friday. I will start getting some progress pictures and putting them up on the video so that you can see. But my physique has changed. Like, I'm getting leaner at a really good pace. I'm hungry. I'm a bit tired. My energy's not amazing, but it's getting the job done. And again, it's doing what needs to be done now so that I can have the flexibility and still get a great result. Like, if you want the flexibility and you want the flexible weekends of going out with the boys, having drinks, going out for some indulgent meals, which I have got a fair few things lined up in March, I need to get the job done now and keep my head down and work hard. And that's the reality of it if you want the results and the flexibility. You can't be like half-arsing your efforts with your diet and your training and then still expecting to go out and get smashed a few times and still be in great shape 12 weeks later, you know? So yeah, you might look at that and think, that looks boring for a Friday, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have this. I have got a bit more food tonight, like yogurt, frozen fruit. What else have I got? I think it's just a big bowl of yogurt, frozen fruit, oats and some nuts before I go to bed. Gonna have a non-alcoholic beer and watch a movie, but I'll put the totals for the day. Or in fact, I'll make another video quick and when I'm having the yogurt, and I'll put the totals for the day in terms of the calories, what I've had and all that sort of stuff in the description. So if you check out the description, you'll see a full breakdown of what I've eaten, how I've hit 180 grams of protein, 1,700 calories, and there'll be a few other things there in the links. All right, I'm gonna eat my dinner. Right, I'm on the sofa and I'm absolutely spent. So I'm not putting the mic on, I'm not setting the tripod up. I'm gonna finish this episode of the vlog with a nice raw video. Last meal, 200 grams of Greek yogurt, 80 grams of frozen raspberries and 10 grams of walnuts. Helped me sleep good. It's got some protein in it, some fruit, some healthy fats. To be honest, this is probably one of my favorite meals anyway. Like, I would eat this even when I'm not dieting. It's one of my favorites. Probably have a little bit of chocolate in there as well if I wasn't dieting. But maybe a little bit too much Greek yogurt today. This will be like 600 grams of Greek yogurt today. But I do live in Greece, so maybe I can be forgiven. But it's a really good protein source to have just before bed. I'll round it out with a bit of a nerdy fact. So Greek yogurt is full of casein protein, which is like slow release protein. And because it's dairy, it's full of all the amino acids you need for gains. So Greek yogurt in the evening before bed is really good, as is a bit of fruit and as is a bit of healthy fats. So it's a perfect pre-bed supper. All right, I'm gonna melt into the sofa. I will put, like I say, in the description below, I'll put the macros, the calories, the breakdown of each meal that I've had today so that you can see what I've done. And then next vlog will be, I'll make sure it's the other end of the spectrum where it's one of my flexible days and I'm having a little bit more fun, having a takeaway or going out for dinner or whatever that may be. So I'll do that next weekend. All right, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.